Hosted by Mike, the Big Cheese.
How are you guys today?
Good. Good.
Great,
Calling
man.
from two separate places, but
Hey,
I'm
that's
good.
the pleasure of technology, right?
Yeah, makes it easy.
Very easy. Hey, listen, for a band that's been around for about 6 years, I mean, you guys have been so active and so productive of putting out records. I mean, 2 EPs, 4 full-length records. It's kind of impressive, especially, today's climate, as far as, like, the business end of music goes, that you've been able to get out so much product.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it does or doesn't make sense. Most bands put out an album every 2 or 3 years now, and they're able to promote them for longer, but I just think we're here to make music, and we keep coming up with the songs, and to not record them just because of financial reasons or because we think we should be promoting the last album longer. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to us. I think we just if we've got a song we like, we want to put it out. That's what we do.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. If you're in the business of making music, not just putting out a record and trying to stretch it out for as many years as possible. Is it hard today, to be an independent band trying to do things on your own? Is there any sort of support system out there today for a band?
Yeah, Kickstarter. Yeah, basically, yes. The answer is yes, and it's people like you, and it's our fans. And it's it's all this grassroots stuff. It's people that have their own radio shows or they have their own blogs, and then it's all the fans that get it and are willing to put in what is effectively a pre-order like a year in advance and do Kickstarter, which helps us make the album. So there's difficulties, but none of us have been in this. None of us have been in this long enough that we had the experience under the old record company system. So it's not like we're missing the big recording advances or the big tour promotion. We never had that, and so the way we're doing it now is the only way we know.
Sure. This is the business model that you came up through. And with the Lesser Key of Solomon, you guys went the Kickstarter route. And I think that is the way to go for a lot of bands today because the fans, they feel like they're a part of what the band is doing and putting out. And, a lot of bands maybe give away a download for free by donating money or a CD down the road. I think this is the way to go because it's way of the fans' money getting into your pocket to help you put music out for us to listen to.
I concur.
Yeah, I think, putting myself in the shoes of the fan, like, I love supporting bands that way. I would love to have, if my favorite bands had been allowed me to do that before, like that would have gotten me really excited and that just would have made me even more of a fan, if it was like, I helped make that Black Sabbath album. Like I would have freaked out if I had the chance to do that. So, I think it's good. And, nobody's going to say, no, I'm sorry, I'd rather put the money into the record company. And, I only want the band to get 30% of this. No, it's like, of course, you'd rather have the bands, get the money because, they're the ones that are going to put it back into more music.
Absolutely. The band's based out of the D.C. area, the D.C., Virginia area. How is it for a band to be in that area? Is there enough activity for a band to keep busy, like within its own neighborhood to go out and play?
Oh, definitely. We've actually got a really good metal community in our area. We have a friend who runs a blog called DCHeavyMetal.com. People are pretty active around here, not just in D.C. and Virginia, but in Maryland and also in Pennsylvania. and New Jersey. I mean, we get all over the place in the area, as long as it's a couple hours away, yeah.
Yeah. The band started like around, 2008? That was like right before, the traditional, the classic metal of the 80s started to make this comeback and started to become, semi-popular again. But you guys were kind of writing classical and traditional sounding metal before it kind of took off again. You were like, a little bit before the edge of the cusp of it starting to take off again.
Well, I guess so. I mean, we never really sat down and said, we should do this style because I think this style is going to be popular again or anything like that. It was just,
we just kind of play what we like.
Yeah, I mean, the drummer and I started the band, and, it started off as it was just a serious hobby. We didn't really know if we were going to be any good, but we just know, like, we wanted to do music like the bands we love, and for our drummer Chris, that's, Rush and Yes and Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, and, for me it was, Sabbath and Maiden, and then more, Saxon, Deep Purple, and then, Nina came along a couple of years later. We met her at the end of 2009, and she brought her own influences. And, but it was this band's never been something we've done for any reason other than to just make the kind of music that we love and that we would want to listen to and also play. And I think it's just, that's just a combination of our interests.
Yeah. Well, Nina, I mean, if you go back to the late 70s and the early 80s when metal started to, come about and around, it was the rarity for a female to be fronting a band, where today it seems to be the norm or the average, or if even more than that.
It's pretty normal, yeah.
Exactly. I think there's more female singing fronted bands than there are male fronted bands today. And it's like, I never thought anything of it to me, because good music was good music, and I didn't care who. It could have been a monkey singer for all I care. For he sang good, it was good music. But did you feel that there was, people look at it differently than if there was a male singer?
Oh, definitely. And
really?
You know what? There still is. It's not going away anytime soon. Just go on the internet and you'll still see people that are like, well, the music's okay, but I don't like girls who sing. It's like, it still happens. It's not changing, but, I'm just doing my part. I can't change the fact that I'm a girl, so I'm just going to do what I do.
No, and you shouldn't.
I don't think we never set out to find a female singer. We just wanted to find the best singer we could find, and that was Nina. But I think, people are used to hearing girls sing really pretty, like Nightwish is obviously huge, and, Nightwish kind of spawned this whole subgenre of, gothic metal with operatic female vocals. But there really aren't as many girls that really get in there and just wail like Nina. There's been a few more bands recently, like, Cobra and the Lotus, obviously, and Hailstorm, and, girls that really, like, sing powerfully. And so I think that's something that still needs to, open up even more.
And I'm very surprised to hear that, because you were thinking today's day and age it wouldn't matter, because it didn't matter to me 30 years ago. I don't know why today, especially when you have bands, have extreme death metal bands with female fronted. Like I said, you have more of the softer kind, and you have like yourself, Nina, who's just like tears it apart when you're on stage. It's just incredible that people would feel that way, and even judge that.
I agree. I don't understand what their problem is. I can only assume it's misogyny and having a small penis.
I'm glad I said I liked your singing then, because I would have really felt self-conscious after that.
Exactly. That's because you're smart.
There you go. Well, you were talking about the different genres. Does it bother you when a band gets placed to a certain genre? Do you feel like it kind of limits your appeal to people, even though, I don't think you guys fit into any one specific genre. I think you kind of experiment with all sorts of metal.
I think it only bugs me when people say that they don't like something because it doesn't fit something. So, for example, for a long time, people were calling us power metal, and I love power metal, so I have no problem with that, clearly. But when they're like, oh, well, this song isn't fast enough, so it's not power metal, so it's not good, it's like, oh, well, it could be something else and still be good.
Yeah.
I think we cover a big range of sounds, and people, a lot of people I don't think like that. I don't think people want to be surprised. A lot of people, I think, they want to know what an album sounds like before they even play it. So we have, I'd say something like Uteroth on the new album sounds like power metal, and people will really dig that track. And then they'll get to something like House of Bones, and they'll be like, well, that's not power metal enough, and it's, that doesn't do it for me. That wasn't good. Well, that one, that's not supposed to be power metal. That we were thinking about Black Sabbath and Deep Purple and, groovy 70s stuff. And, I think, but the good news is that our fans get it, and our fans really like the variety. And it's not going away anytime soon because we have that variety in all of our interest in music. And, for me, that's a more interesting album to me with some different sounds on it rather than throwing on a disc or an album that's, an hour long of just all the exact same sounds.
I concur.
Yeah, no, I agree. Also, I mean, when you're sitting down to write, do you ever take that into consideration? Well, we can't stray too far, of course, because it might not appeal to these fans or to these fans, or do you just, write the piece
No,
yourself?
screw those guys. We play what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much it's like whatever sounds good. Yeah. But I think that makes for better music and makes, that does make the fans happier, that rather than sitting there and being like, no, we have to throw that idea out because it's not enough this or that. Maybe if we get to the point where we're working on a record and most of the songs are slow or mid-tempo, then we'll be like, well, you know what, we do need a fast one. But that's about the only concession we make to, trying to please people. You want the tempos to be good on the record.
And I'll be the first person to tell Josh if a song sounds weak. So people don't need to worry about us playing smooth jazz.
Yeah, what I love is that you kind of worked with my BFF over there, Veronica Freeman, on a song. On the Queen of Hell EP. Is she somebody that you knew before the album, or just somebody you wanted to work with?
Actually, I met Veronica during Flight of the Valkyries when it was in Minnesota, and she's just really cool, and we've been in touch ever since. And she thought it would be cool if I sang on her album and she sang on mine, so we did it.
A little cross-pollination of that never hurts.
Exactly. It's fun.
Well, as far as going out and playing live, I know you've had a few shows already in the last few weeks. You have a whole bunch more coming up between now and the end of the year. How is it getting on a tour today? Is it difficult trying to get on a nationwide tour, or even going overseas and going on a pretty steady tour? Is it difficult?
It is definitely difficult. I actually book all of the shows myself. So far, we haven't been on any national tours with any other bands because, like I said, I book all the tours myself. And unfortunately, a lot of national bands are usually out for a month and a half. And we're the kind of band where we actually have jobs and we can't leave for 2 months. So we're not able to go on those long tours. And it's just better for us to book the shows that we know are going to have people there and go out on our own.
Yeah. Well, how difficult is it trying to get on a tour? Is it payment involved? You have a lot of shows where you have to pay to play or sell tickets.
Yes,
it is
pay to play. It's called a buy-in, and typically a band will ask for $200 to $300 per show that we have to give them just to be able to play with them.
Wow.
We've had offers that were way more expensive than that too. So it's something that we never knew about before we were in the band as music fans, and that it's interesting, I guess. But it's something you should know, or whoever's listening you should know. When you go see your favorite headliner, and you see the opening bands on there, well, they may not be that headliner's favorite band. They may just be the band that was willing to pay the most to get on that tour.
Yeah, so please watch them because, dear God, they're shelling out a lot of money just to be able to play.
That's true. There was a time when you went to a club to see, whoever was playing the headlining band. But you went in the beginning when the club opened. You wanted to see the 3 bands that played before them. It was a whole night out. Today it's a different experience.
I would hope so.
Well, here in New York, it's they'll have a band playing and 2 opening acts, and they'll put them on at 5 o'clock in the afternoon when nobody can get there, or they want everybody out of the club by 10 o'clock at night. You don't feel like you're welcome there. It's not a scene where you want to go hang out. That's your night, going to hear new music and a band you're familiar with. That seems to be missing today.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes, what sucks is that because people just pay money to be on some tours, you never, there are times when you go to see a band. Let's say I wanted to go see Dragon Force, and a death metal band opens that is not my cup of tea. I'm not going to want to watch a death metal band if I'm in the mood for Dragon Force, so... that happens, too, and it's something to consider.
That is true. And like I said, it could be, you're pretty much a self-contained unit. Like I said, you book your own shows, you manage yourself, take care of your own recordings. You kind of, got everything covered.
Yeah, it's out of necessity, pure necessity. It's
I think
not,
we're lucky
yeah.
that we just happen to have the right people in the band with the right other skills that we can kind of handle all this stuff.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, if we just wanted to focus on the music and, you know, we weren't any good at the promotional stuff or, you know, I mean, we had to do like placing all the calls to all the manufacturers to get our vinyls and CDs and T-shirts made. Like, you know, we're lucky that we have the right experience to be able to handle all of that in-house. It's a lot of work, but, you know, we take a lot of pride in it. And, like, when somebody buys a CD and a T-shirt from us from our store and they get that package in the mail, they know that I put that in that package. Like,
Yeah.
you know, nobody got hired to do that. Like, it's all done by the band, and you know, I think that's why we love our fans so much. They know, you know, that, you know, we want to stay in touch with them and have that kind of that close relationship with them.
That's cool. You know what I love about the band is that you guys don't take the normal route with anything. I mean, you have such original titles and themes to your songs. You're not afraid to put a 9-minute tune out there like Elijah, or even a 8 or a 6-minute tune. You know, and I think that's fantastic. You don't try to box yourselves into one type of, you know, into one little box, if that's even coming out right. You really don't mind, like, you know, going off.
Thank you. Yeah, we try. We just do what we think is interesting, really. I mean, sometimes that's a 9-minute song. The other day, I made Josh listen to a song that was 30 minutes long. I mean, it can be done.
Hey, Dream did it. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we just want to do, you know, we want to do stuff that's interesting. Like you said, we got to play for us, but also I think some fans know, a lot of people know, like, if you get a CD and every single song on that album is between 3.5 and 4.5 minutes long, you pretty much know that they're trying to make it, and they're writing songs to hopefully be hits or, you know, catch on with people. And I think, you know, you got to remember it's not just the music business; it's also music for, you know, the sake of art and for creating something that's nice to listen to. And I think, you know, you got to just do what's in your heart and what sounds good to you.
Absolutely. I mean, my favorite song on the new record is definitely "Blood from the Mummy's Tomb." I love the tune.
Oh, sweet.
Really? This
it's great.
It's been really interesting because their songs are so different that we'll get one. I mean, we just got a review that was like, man, Udaroth is the best song on the record, but Blood from the Mummy's Tomb is my least favorite. I can't stand it. And then the next review will come in and be the exact opposite. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's all over the board. You know, one person's favorite and somebody else's least favorite, and it's cool because they're covering a lot of bases.
I haven't read a lot of bad reviews about the album at all. It seems like everybody's really into this one. I mean, not that they weren't into the other ones, but it's getting a lot of positive press, which is always good. And, you know, that definitely...
Yeah,
you know,
we haven't had anything bad, per se. It was just a lot of people didn't expect certain things.
Yeah, there's no consensus on, like, what the best ones are. It's been cool. But, yeah, the response has been overwhelming. If anybody out there ordered a CD, it's probably running late because we got so many orders. We're so far behind on shipping them out. But that's, you know, it's all good news because more people are finding us.
That's good. Do you really have to have a thick skin, or do you kind of just let it roll off your back? Because you're never going to make everybody happy. And let's be honest, half the people that complain or make the biggest noise, they just do it for the sake of liking to cause trouble. They don't even probably know the band or the music. They just like to talk a lot of shit. But do you kind of have to like have a thick skin and like let it roll off your back and say, you know, who cares what that one person said?
Yeah.
I just pretend to have a thick skin. Really, you know, if we get a bad review or somebody says something nasty, it does bother me, but, you know, you can't get on there and start a fight with them. You just kind of have to let it go. So.
Yeah, you try not to be too sensitive, but to be perfectly honest, we see what people say. We know what they're saying, and we remember.
They're on our list.
They're on our list.
Yeah. Well, how can you not? I mean, because it is kind of personal because you put your heart and soul into your music. It's, you know, it's an artistic expression. It's like somebody say, you know, your kid is ugly. You know, you're gonna go crazy.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it's like.
And you can't help it.
I think people forget, especially with the internet, when you don't see people face to face, that, you know, these are real human beings that you're talking about, and, you know, of course, if you slag off an album, it may not seem like a big deal, but that somebody spent a year of their life making it, you know.
Sure, it's definitely hard. Are you guys getting to the New York area with these couple coming shows you have?
We have
we
played there before. We played in, Where did we play, Josh? St.
We played
Vitus.
at St. Vitus.
St.
Yeah,
Vitus.
we had another
Brooklyn you
one.
played. Yeah.
Now we hit northern New Jersey quite a bit. It seems to work out better for us than playing in the city proper.
Yeah.
So we're going to be at Roxy and Duke's. Do you remember what city that is, Nina?
Dunellen?
Yeah, New Jersey. And then, of course, we played, oh, man, now I'm going to forget the name of that big club we play all the time in New Jersey.
Stalin
There's
Hall?
a big club in New Jersey?
Nina, the club we play in New Jersey. She's going to know it. You're going to know it, too, Mike.
Dingbats.
Dingbats and Clifton.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Are you coming around there in the next few weeks?
No, the only Jersey show we have coming up is Dunellen at Roxy and Duke's.
That's okay. I'll be
But
there.
I'm going to be planning another tour eventually, so don't worry. We'll be there.
I'm going to catch you guys in New Jersey in a couple of weeks when you get there. And right now, the album is out. It's an amazing record. People should definitely pick this up and support the band. Where can people keep in touch with you guys before I let you go, find out what's happening and where the latest shows are going to be taking place?
Facebook.com/A Sound of Thunder, and the band's always on there personally interacting with people. ASoundofThunderBand.com, and you can find our music on iTunes, Amazon, and all the usual suspects.
That's fantastic. Josh, I can't thank you guys enough for talking to me today. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in New Jersey and hearing as many tunes as I can off the new record. I'm just not an old fan where I want to hear the old stuff. I want to hear everything new.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
No problem. See you guys soon. Take care.
Right.
Okay, see you later. Bye.
Thanks, Mike.